Hi, thanks for joining me here again at Ready to Ride, and welcome to another upper body conditioning program. We've done some upper body exercises before. This is just taking it up another level, making your workout just a little bit harder, making it all a little bit more dynamic for you, so just to challenge your stability that bit more. Before you do this session, make sure as always that you've done a really good warm-up, so at least one of the warm-up sessions, and make sure, so if you're coming into this new, that you go away again and find out one of the easier exercise programs, so you're not coming straight in this slightly harder level unless you are pretty experienced at this sort of exercise already, because if you come into this and you haven't built up to it properly, you'll probably just end up being a little bit sore afterwards, and that's really not what we want. So I'm going to split this, as so often I do, into 3 exercises, and the first one we're going to do is lying on your front. And this is kind of a modification of the hundreds exercise. It's one that I normally would try and do with some sliders, which I can't do on grass, and actually a lot of people find that they can't do particularly effectively in the area that they're working in. So you can modify this, and you don't need to have anything under your hand, you just have to hover your hand over the floor. So you can use a headrest if you want to. I don't particularly feel that I need to, and for talking to you it's probably easier sometimes if I don't. I'll talk you through the start-up position first of all. So head resting onto your headrest if you want to, or just resting the tip of your nose onto your mat. Shoulder blades back and down, tummy away from the puddle of water and pelvic floor onto floor 3. And then you float your hands, and you're going to effectively draw a little arc by your side. So if you're using sliders for this, then great. You just move your sliders over the floor. If you're not, then you're just gently almost brushing the floor, or brushing the grass in my case, or else just lightly hovering over the floor, it doesn't matter. You're focusing on keeping a nice even movement with both of your hands. Keeping your shoulder blades back and down, keeping your tummy away from the puddle of water, and the pelvic floor nicely working way onto floor 3. Always looking for that symmetry through both arms, same speed, same height, same range up through your shoulders as you head up towards your head. Keeping tummy always away from that puddle of water so your spine stays in neutral and that pelvic floor stays onto floor 3. Okay, we're going to move on to a variation of the breaststroke exercise, and for this you don't need a mat at all, a head block at all, you just need to have your hands underneath your head. Once again, tummy away from the puddle of water and pelvic floor onto floor 3. And this time you're going to lift your arms, head and neck all together, so I will demonstrate. If you find that doing this makes your back uncomfortable, stop and don't carry on again, because it just means you're not quite strong enough and you're just going to make yourself really sore if you persevere. Only do this if you really can feel that you can keep your tummy in that neutral position. If you find that as soon as you lift, you sink down into your mat, then stop. I don't mind from a quality point of view if you just get your arms literally a millimetre off the mat, that's absolutely fine, you're still activating the correct muscles. So pelvic floor, tummy off away from the puddle of water, into the lift. To start off with, probably finishing on about 10 is very adequate, because if you push it then you're just going to start getting weak, getting tired, then you start to cheat, and then you're going to start doing it wrong. If you're finding 10 is really easy, by all means carry on, but I think if you're new to it, then leave it there. Final exercise is a progression of the leg pull exercise in the prone position. So onto your hands and knees. You want to have your hands slightly in front of your shoulders, knees basically underneath your hips and your toes tucked underneath you. We're going to start off by revising the preparation part of this exercise. So you need your pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then lift your knees just off the mat, and then slowly back down again. So this really nicely mostly works your abdominal muscles, but you should feel it a little bit around your shoulders as you go into the lift, because your weight will transfer over your arms and therefore your shoulders will start to kick in. The progression for this then, hands slightly forwards, pelvic floor into the lift, and then forwards. Back over the knees and rest down. Pelvic floor, lift, forwards, over the knees and rest back down. But we're going to take it up yet another notch in this session. So I'd like you, same starting, pelvic floor into the lift and forwards, and then stay in that forwards position and see if you can alternately lift your legs off the mat, keeping your pelvis as level as you can, keeping your pelvic floor onto floor 3. And as you're doing this, as your weight is over your upper body, and as you're moving each leg in turn, you should really feel that your shoulders are starting to work. So try to gently feel as if your shoulder blades are back and down. You can't pull them all the way back and down. And make sure you're not allowing everything to sink downwards, not dropping through your chest. Keep thinking about shoulders gently back and down. Keeping the headlights level. And then bring your knees back over your toes and back into your starting position. Okay, so that's plenty for this session. As always with these, I'm trying to gradually build you up through the levels. So hopefully if you've progressed onto that, you found that a little bit of an extra challenge, and I will be finding a few more challenging exercises for you in the weeks to come. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you haven't already, check out the Ready to Ride blog, and both of those ways you'll receive lots of regular updates on new videos and new theory and background to all the things that you're doing and why you are doing them. So thanks for joining me yet again, and I will see you again at the next video. Bye!